How you guys doing? This is Dr. Obed Magni, and we are talking about, are you actively interviewing? Welcome to part two of this three-part series. And today we're going to be talking about mastering the interviews. So we're going to be talking about three different things today that's going to help you ace that interview when you guys find yourself in that position. So let's get into it. First, you got to put yourself in your potential boss's shoes. So, what does that look like? You know, you're going to go into an interview and you know there's going to be some questions. Put yourself in the shoes of the person that's going to interview you. What kind of questions are they going to ask? If you're somebody who's going to apply for a job in accounting, for example, it would be important to know, hey, what is it that this job entails? Am I prepared for it? What have I done to prepare for it? These are the basic foundations of mastering an interview. So think about it, put yourself in a position of, why am I a good fit for this organization? What is it that they need? Do I have the skill set to help fulfill, whatever it is that they're looking for? Just start thinking about those things, and you're going to be in a much better position. Somebody that I coached not that long ago, they were, putting in for a job to be a school resource officer. So this person was already an officer. And one of the things that I did was I sat down with her, we talked about some potential questions. And we also talked about making sure that the answers to those questions are tailor made for that position. So, like I mentioned with the accounting example, if you're going to put in for a specific position, make sure you do as much research on that position as possible. So, again, this person that I coached, we made sure that all of her answers were tailor made for the specific school that she wanted to work at. And guess what? She ranked number one and got that position. So make sure you guys are doing that. Put yourself in the position of your potential boss and what it is that they're possibly going to ask you. Second thing, practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Like any skill, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And one particular way to really ace those skills is if you record yourself doing these interviews. And I know, y'all, I know it's a little uncomfortable and it's awkward. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I was a police officer way back in the day, I was put in for a position, sergeant, the first line supervisor. And the person that was mentoring me, the coaching me at the time, she said, "Hey, we're gonna record these practice interviews." Y'all, it was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. I said the word like every other second. It was like everything I said was and then I would go here and I would and then I would it was terrible. But I'm glad I did it because it showed where my deficiencies were. So one of the ways that improved my skills was whenever I would speak, it would be slowly and then I would pause. So I would say, hey, I would go here, and then next thing I would do is and then that would get rid of all of the ums. So record yourself, record yourself, record yourself. I know it's going to be a little awkward, but you're going to thank yourself for doing it. All right. So, like any skill, practice, 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 record, find out where you can be better, where you can tighten things up, and you're going to master that interview. Now, the last thing I know is probably the easiest, but it's actually the hardest for a lot of people. You got to get a good night's rest. Okay. You got to get you some shut eye. Don't be the person staying up late, trying to cram every little possible thing. You're actually doing yourself a disservice because what's going to happen is when you don't get enough sleep, what happens? You wake up cranky, frustrated, you can't focus, you're hangry. And that's not what you want to bring into an interview. You want to be on your toes. You want to be focused. You want to be able to read the room, read the person who's asking you the questions, and you want to be pleasant. So make sure you get a good night's rest. All right. So this is just part two. We got part three coming up. Mastering these interviews. And are you actively interviewing? If you guys like this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And I'll see you guys soon.